Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Nioh level 1 Raoh build using fist and knees. And this is probably my favourite level in the game. I love this level because it's all about intelligent use of the water to get through the flames. It's such an interesting gimmick that I wish there was more of this type of stuff in the game. It's such a simple thing, but it makes navigation feel so interesting. All we're doing is problem solving, but it's problem solving on the move, and I really like it. But this level's tough too, because the fight against Saika Magoichi was something that I really wanted. I wanted it to be cool, I wanted to maybe juggle him a bit and do some combos, and I got 1 or 2 pieces of footage with that, but every time he shot me. And he shot me because it comes out quite quick, and my dodges were bad. You know, I dodged a little bit late, apparently. And I kept wanting to get just this cool thing to share a really fun fight. And in the end, I just never got it, and I was doing it for about an hour, trying to get something cool looking. And the thing that I find when I'm recording the fights on this run is you really come to understand truly how random the bosses can be. And it's a randomness that's not bad because it keeps it interesting every time, but it's a randomness that when you want to get something specific, it never happens. And the moment you're not recording, it does. And I find that stuff to be just a nightmare. And for most, the fights went well, and there was nothing that happened that bugged me, nothing that was too bad, and I kind of just went with them. There's a couple of cheap hits that I feel like shouldn't have touched me, and when I've slowed them down and looked into them, I feel like I was justified in being angry at those hits, but at the same time, I like it in my projects for them not to be perfect. Imperfections are something that anybody can empathise with, and if you don't have empathy in what you're doing, it can be difficult for people to truly understand it. It's nice to see ridiculous, you know, no damage, high skill required stuff, but it's almost a distance. It's like a distancing process, because when you watch that, there's 2 responses. The first one is, wow, that's amazing, what a great player. The second one is, I can never do this, that's just crazy, and it can almost be putting people off. So on my channel, I like to have a nice breadth of different things. I like to have those moments where you watch and it's like, Jesus Christ, that was impressive. But at the same time, I like to see those moments where like, oh wow, he took a hit. Oh wow, he took a lot of hits. Oh wow, that was bad, this was bad, you know. Because it makes it seem like the player I am rather than the player that YouTube makes people look like. Because it's easy to look like an amazing gamer on YouTube because you don't see the attempts, you don't see the fails. And a lot of people are very dishonest with it. Watch this tech, by the way. This is another teleport I discovered. See what I mean? All he has to do is hit you directly in the back with that pickaxe and it will send you back to that shrine. Majestic piece of game design. So there is the water that's going to enable us to get through the flames. And then here is the second water to get through the next bout of flames. And we're going to literally run all the way to the boss in the space of about 4 minutes, which is kind of crazy. These levels are wicked short once you know your way through them. And of course when you're skipping the enemies. I'm probably going to do a run. Not necessarily with the fists, because let's face it, the fists are so limiting, it's kind of frustrating. But definitely a level 1 something, where I fight almost everything in my path, because that's the type of shit I really like. But it has to be fun, guys. If it's not fun, I can't do it. And fun to me is different to fun to other people, because you might be looking at this and thinking, what the hell's fun about, you know, 15-minute boss fights, punching them until, you know, your mind completely atrophies and you drown yourself in your own dribble. Well, you know, that's not the most endearing part of this run, nor should that be the part that we focus on. We should focus on the fun bits, I like to think, and not the miserable, you know, 20 hours of prep it took to get the shit that you're seeing right now. So I'm going to fall down off this wall, and this is going to lead up to both the boss area and the shortcut. Be careful coming up here, because this is a cheap as fuck shot. That's one of the cheapest parts of the game just then. If you didn't get hit by that on your first playthrough, GG, because you did well to see that coming, or to react to it, because it's both fast and it's difficult to see. I did not react my first time, I think I pretty much got hit. But every time afterwards, I still forget about it, and it's one of those things where my panic rolls are the only thing saving me. So now that we've opened the shortcut, we can proceed up this building, and then there's a couple of assholes waiting for you here. There's a nice little ambush with the dwellers. And the dwellers are not necessarily the worst enemy, but they're difficult to hit when they go on all 4s. When they go on all 4s, the fight is over because you're in trouble. So you need to keep them standing or knocked down. When they're like that, it's not good, it's no bueno. I got lucky there because he decided to vomit on me. If he'd have done the other combo, that would have been game over. But it wasn't, so once again, Fortuitous indeed. But I'm going to kill him now on principle because he's a dickhead. And the critical on the ground with the feet once you've got a couple buffs is really nice. I just hate the animation. He could have done an axe kick. He could have dropped a knee. He could have done like an elbow. He could have done all kinds of stuff, man. Make it something interesting. Like, imagine if he did some kind of spinning, awesome crescent kick. Or like crescent axe kick coming down. Or the Bruce Lee thing, you know, where Bruce Lee jumps up and does that da thing when he like kind of crushes the back. That would have been cool. With the sound effects and everything. Something, game. Something. Or a soccer kick. Straight out of Pride. You know? Send a few teeth flying while you wear boots and shit. That could have been great. But alas, it's just not there. So I have low life. And when we get to the shortcut, which is just down here, there's going to be a oh, I'm going to get healed by the spring. This is not the shortcut. The shortcut is back on where we came from. There's our magician's trick of completely removing clothes and then completely putting them all back on. And getting a nice little passive bonus, which is nice. And a trophy that this character doesn't have. Because I didn't realise that you could have... well, that's a lie, actually. I did realise that. I discovered it the other day. I read something online that said there was a bug in Nioh where if you started a new character on a save, it could delete your save. So I was really scared I was going to lose my main build, so I put this on a different PSN account. And then it turns out, I think that might have been patched, or it doesn't do that anymore. Because this account now has 3 builds. One of them is my girlfriend's from the stream the other day. Another one is my practice run with the fists when I got to about... how far did I think I got to the Spirit Stone level, and I still didn't have the talisman, and I was really depressed. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do this. But anyhow, this is the path to the boss, and the boss is coming up. Psyker is pretty tough, but if you buy shurikens for 1 ninja scroll and equip them, you have a way of getting him out of the air at any time. But you need to be aware, guys. When he teleports, you have to dodge at least twice to get out of the range of the bombs if he does them, before you can throw a shuriken to stun him. But stun him with a shuriken, execute from behind, punch, and then get a lock on, dodge the bomb, throw the shuriken, execute, hit from behind with Y, do a square, then get away, dodge, throw the shuriken, and then kill the boss. Looked easy, didn't it? That took a fucking hour. And it took an hour because I wanted to get fancy stuff, and I ended up getting no fancy stuff. So, I'm sorry, I tried, but alas, there it was. It's a great strategy, but it's not what I wanted. And some of the attempts were so good. Oh my god, they were so good. And then he'd shoot me, and it'd piss me off, and I'd stand there and let him kill me. And that's just not a good time. But he's dead, we ruled him, we conquered him, the conquest continues, Raoh cannot be stopped. King of Fist, thank you for watching, you take care now.